tattoo artistry being one of her greatest passions. With her innate talent, she became known for her creative vision and sharp precision at Nocturnal Ink and Body Canvas Ink, where she worked as a tattoo artist. In addition to her work in the tattoo industry, she also held a job at Go Right Way Transportation Group. Balancing multiple jobs and responsibilities, Chiron pushed forward with resilience, always striving to provide a better life for her family. But through all her talents, bravery, and vibrant personality, there was one area in Chiron's life that has always been hard for her: love. For some reason, Chiron always gets involved with men who have questionable backgrounds and characters, putting her through heartbreaks and hard lessons. And this pattern of being with questionable men would soon lead her down a path that ended in tragedy.
Hey, look at me. Did you follow me on Instagram yet?
Nope.
If you did not, then you need to follow me on Instagram. Come on over to Instagram. Why haven't you followed me on Instagram yet? It's on the screen right now. It's pinned below in the comments, and it's in the description. So it's no way you can miss it. Come on over, man.
But even in the chaos, love still found a way to bless her life. From those turbulent relationships came her greatest source of strength and joy: her children. Chiron was a devoted mother to 4 children, whom she loved fiercely.
He came out of me. Look at him. Look at her. Look at her. Say hey, Mackenzie. Smile, let them see your dimples. This is a product of me. I did this. Look, I made this. I made this. Look at these motherfuckers. Look at that. Look how beautiful he is. I made these motherfuckers. And then you see that motherfucker back there asleep? That little bad motherfucker. I'm gonna go around and put the camera on him too. Hold on. I don't got no viewers right now, but I'm still gonna talk my shit. You see this motherfucker right here? I made that beautiful motherfucker with this pussy. You see that shit?
It's crazy.
While the identities of their fathers remain unclear, one thing is certain: Chiron gave everything she had to give her children the best life possible.
You seem like she was a fun mother. Outside of what she just said, I wish my mama would say that. I'd be so mad. But, you know, you do seem like she was a pretty responsible mother.
Her life was not perfect, but she was leading a life with purpose. But she would cross paths with a man who ultimately destroyed everything. That man was 29-year-old Darnell Kimball. The nature of when and how they met is unclear, but Chiron immediately fell in love with him. But there is one problem. From the outside, one can already tell that Darnell was not a man with a good background. Beneath the surface was a disturbing past that should have raised red flags for Chiron. Darnell had a long list of criminal records dating all the way back to 2009, when he was convicted of armed robbery. But that charge was only the beginning of Darnell being in and out of prison. Over the years, Darnell faced a variety of criminal charges that put him behind bars. He faced charges of battery and disorderly conduct in 2017, and in 2018, he was arrested for the possession of illegal drugs. And in that same year, he killed someone through strangulation and suffocation. Needless to say, Darnell was a dangerous man who Chiron should have evaded from the very beginning. But
literally, like, y'all gotta do, it's so crazy because you actually have to do background checks with certain people, especially women. Y'all need to start doing background checks when it comes to these men. I know it's a little different for men. We probably got to do like mental evaluations. I mean, men probably have to get that done for them as well, but this is just completely different, like real.
That's what made everything worse was the lie he lived. When Chiron met him, Darnell was already married to another woman. Chiron had no idea she was stepping into a relationship built on lies. Unbeknownst to her, she had become the side chick of a relationship, and this would go on for a while. Be that as it may, however, Chiron stayed within a toxic relationship. Despite the glaring red flags and gut instincts likely warning her to walk away, she remained, perhaps out of love, hope, or the belief that things would change, but the cracks in their relationship would soon become impossible to ignore. What started as subtle red flags soon escalated into a volatile and abusive dynamic. And
yeah, that was more than red flags. I don't even think that was just red flags, y'all. That was way more than red flag. What is worse than a red flag?
What made it all worse was that Chiron and Darnell both had strong and stubborn personalities, and together, they ignited chaos. Because of this,
Dang.
Chiron found herself trapped in a toxic cycle, yearning for love but receiving only pain.
And no,
I swear to God, one of the main reasons why I don't like is because y'all not good for shit. Only thing y'all can do is so just give me that and keep it moving. Stop playing with me, dog.
And through all of this, Chiron had no idea she was involved with someone dangerous and abusive, but things are only bound to get worse. When Chiron found out the one lie that would change everything, it didn't take long for Chiron to uncover the truth. Darnell was married to someone else, and that's when everything exploded. The betrayal hit hard. For Chiron, this was the final straw. She wasn't the type to back down or stay quiet, and she let him know exactly how she felt. At around this time, Chiron started going on social media to rant about Darnell's betrayal.
that's what it
Expletive
was.
words and statements that reflected her anger and hostility towards Darnell.
Anytime you can sit here and settle for being with somebody that you're not even naturally attracted to, that you don't even like, that you don't even have a connection with, just to satisfy your materialistic and your earthbound needs, nigga, you don't even love yourself. Because I'm not finna sit here and shortchange myself and sit up with a motherfucker to you, my. I'm gonna either charge you by the. It ain't no long-term prostitution over here, my.
What?
You was never. I never even liked.
Chiron didn't hold back, but she will make a mistake that would ultimately cost her her life. During one of her Facebook lives, she called out Darnell. It was
Okay.
there when she expressed her hostility towards him because of his lies, manipulation, and the chaos he brought into Chiron's life. But worst of all, she made threats of exposing the affair on her live.
You gonna make me say your name, bro? Like, don't stop inboxing me for real. Don't do that.
Please
Cause now
don't
you
do
making
that.
me mad, bro. Oh God, like that shit is uncaused for. Like, what? Like, I can talk about what the I want to talk about. This is my page. This is my life.
But unbeknownst to Chiron, this move would ignite a disturbing series of events that will follow. Because the entire time that Chiron was ranting, Darnell was watching, and he heard every word, accusation, insult, and, most of all, the threat. When Chiron saw that he was watching, she did not stop. Instead, she leaned in harder and became more hostile. But what she didn't know was that what she was doing was provoking something sinister inside Darnell, and it wasn't long before she paid the consequences of this action. On the late hours of September 12th, 2019, the unthinkable happened. That morning, Chiron went to Darnell's home at 52nd and Locust in Milwaukee. She was there to collect her things, ready to leave for good, to make it clear that her toxic relationship was over. But Darnell was not gonna let her go easily. He was still furious about the statements and threats that Chiron made on Facebook, statements that pushed him over the edge. And
Why play with a man that look like this, bro? Why? This is a mug shot. This is a mug shot. This is not that this dude is smirking in a mug shot looking like YNW Millie. Like, man, it's just because people be thinking they like dudes won't do stuff to them, and that's like completely false. Like, there's plenty of dudes out here who don't care about life. Woman, female, child, grandmother, grandparent, whatever you want to name it. Special needs, they don't care. They unalive anything, bro.
because of that, a loud and heated argument broke out between them. What was said between them that day may never be known, but what happened next was chilling. In the heat of the moment, Chiron swung her hand to hit Darnell, but before she could even land a blow, Darnell pointed the at her and pulled the trigger. The bullet hit her.
Wait.
Broke out between them. What was said between them that day may never be known, but what happened next was chilling. In the heat of the moment, Chiron swung her hand to hit Darnell, but before she could even land a blow, Darnell pointed the at her and pulled the trigger. The bullet hit her arm and her abdomen, which would prove to be a fatal shot.
Shh. And he finna get off on self-defense. She came to his establishment. And swung on him. Man, bro. People like that be waiting to catch up. You would have been better off hitting her, bro. At this point.
Chiron immediately collapsed and bled out, while Darnell immediately fled the scene, leaving Chiron dying inside his house. Meanwhile, Darnell's mother witnessed everything. She was stunned by the sheer horror of what she just witnessed. Before she could even react, her son disappeared, and she was left alone with Chiron in her final moments. Once she regained her composure, Darnell's mother called 911 and rushed Chiron to the hospital, but the damage was too severe. Despite every effort, Chiron's injuries proved fatal, and she was pronounced dead around 1 a.m. on September 13th, 2019. The news of her death immediately spread across the community, which delivered pure devastation to the people who knew her.
31-year-old Chiron Miller in the arm and abdomen inside an apartment near 52nd and Locust in 2019. Miller died hours later.
She was just an outgoing, loving person, and I'm really going to miss her. She has beautiful children that are really going to miss her.
The medical examiner's office ruled her death a homicide. Prosecutors charged Kimball days later with killing the mother of 4. Investigators say Kimball's mother witnessed her son Miller.
Just imagine watching your child get unalived in front of your face. There got to be a different type of anger, man. I'm going to be honest, I probably would have found him that day and crashed out to just be able to witness your seed that you brought. You watched your seed take her first breath and you just watched her take her last breath. That's a different type of feeling, man. And the fact he knew she had 4 kids, man, you took four kids, man, mamas away. That's crazy.
Those who loved her were crushed, struggling to process how something so tragic could happen so suddenly.
Truly, my daughter, and she's no longer with us.
Those living on the block unnerved by the incident.
I was just shocked that it was right down there.
And bothered to learn who the victim was.
I have condolences for him because the kids used to come up here and play with my grandkids.
A mother of 4, described as a talented tattoo artist, an uplifting person who was always smiling.
She just got along with everybody. She was a great person. She was a peacemaker. She was a realist. She loved to rejoice and have fun.
As grief settled in, so did the urgency for answers. Police quickly launched an investigation, with Darnell's mother providing a clear account of what she had witnessed. Identifying the man responsible for Chiron's death didn't take long. On September 18, 2023, the charges for Darnell Kimball were officially made. He was charged with 1 count of first-degree reckless homicide and 1 count of possession of a firearm by a felon. With his criminal history, Darnell was facing serious charges that could result in significant consequences for his mistake, but the battle for justice would prove to be a difficult mission. The case quickly ran into a series of setbacks, tangled in the web of Darnell's prior convictions and legal history. What should have been a straightforward trial became increasingly complex, derailed by one unexpected twist that would shift the entire direction of the court proceedings. To make matters worse, the main and key witness of the crime was Darnell's mother, and just like any mother's first instinct, she wanted to protect her child from facing an extended serving time of being in prison. It was a difficult decision that she had to go through. She was met with the dilemma of doing what is right, which was to give Chiron's family the justice that they deserve, especially her children, who are now orphaned by the reckless cruelty of her own son. But she also wanted to protect her beloved Darnell. And in 2020, she will make a decision that would change the course of everything. During the court proceedings of Chiron's case, Darnell's mother did not show up at the courtroom, leaving the jury without a crucial testimony from the one person who had witnessed the crime from start to finish. Without her testimony, the case began to crumble. What was once seen as a strong, clear-cut trial quickly turned into a courtroom full of questions. The defense had all they needed to create doubt, and with no one stepping forward to back up the charges, the judge had no choice. In November 2020, the charges against Darnell Kimball were dismissed. What?
No! That's crazy, bro. I need to watch what I say. Because he gonna see this and I'm about to be next. If I'm next, y'all know who did it, bro. And I ain't swinging on him at all. I ain't losing my life. Bro, the mom decided not to show up. That's crazy, bro. That's very crazy. Hold on. We got to rewind this. Because I know I didn't hear what I just heard. We got to rewind this, y'all.
Of setbacks, tangled in the web of Darnell's prior convictions and legal history. What should have been a straightforward trial became increasingly complex, derailed by one unexpected twist that would shift the entire direction of the court proceedings. To make matters worse, The main and key witness of the crime was Darnell's mother, and just like any mother's first instinct, she wanted to protect her child from facing an extended serving time of being in prison. It was a difficult decision that she had to go through.
Wow, so it actually wasn't her mom that witnessed it, it was Darnell's mom that witnessed it. So it was her side, man. Oh, and she decided not to show up to the court to testify against her own son. It's so crazy, man. So crazy.
Darnell's mother did not show up at the courtroom, leaving the jury without a crucial testimony from the one person who had witnessed the crime from start to finish. Without her testimony, the case began to crumble. What was once seen as a strong, clear-cut trial quickly turned into a courtroom full of questions. The defense had all they needed to create doubt, and with no one stepping forward to back up the charges, the judge had no choice. In November 2020, the charges against Darnell Kimball were dismissed without prejudice. This dismissal of the case crushed Chiron's family. They sat in that courtroom, hoping for justice, only to walk out with nothing. And this quickly caught the attention of the media.
The ball was dropped for justice for my daughter. It reopened the wound and it's all over again.
Learning Darnell Kimball, the man they believed to be their loved one's killer, was released without a trial.
He literally and my daughter, and he's walking free as me and you, and she's no longer with us.
All we want is justice. That's it. I don't think we're asking for a lot at all. We just want to be at peace.
Wow.
And we're not at peace right now.
Local news outlets picked it up, shocked that something so tragic could end with no answers, no justice, and no accountability. In the end, Darnell was allowed to walk free while Chiron's family was left reeling. They were met with silence and injustice, all because someone chose to stay quiet. This led to the heartbreaking truth that the man responsible for Chiron's death was still out there. But even though he walked free for that, the law still caught up with him in another way. During this time, Darnell didn't get away with all the charges. He was found guilty of having a gun illegally, given a state sentence, and placed on 2 years of probation. But even with those charges, it still didn't feel like justice. He only paid the consequences for one of the charges, and of the two, it unluckily wasn't the one that cost the life of a mother of 4.
Wow.
And for years, the case went nowhere. Darnell disappeared and couldn't be found, and while the authorities said they were still working on it, nothing really changed. It felt like Chiron's death was being forgotten, like it didn't matter. But just when it seemed like the case had gone cold, a breakthrough arrived. On May 2nd, 2023, the case was yet again reopened. After 4 long years of grief and unanswered questions, the Milwaukee prosecutors filed for first-degree reckless and felony gun charges against Darnell, and a warrant of arrest was immediately issued.
The man accused of
killing
a woman nearly 4 years ago is charged again. Fox 6's Bill Miston joins us live. Bill, the original case here was dismissed, and my understanding,
he wasn't found out guilty. They just didn't finish the court proceeding.
this all came down to one key witness.
Yeah, a witness who never showed up. That's why Darnell Kimball's trial went out the window several years ago. Right now, prosecutors aren't saying what changed, but the refiling of charges signals that prosecutors are ready to take the case to trial again.
And the mom too. The mom
too. The ball was dropped for justice for my daughter. It reopened the wound and it's all over again.
This is Jacqueline Brinson. She spoke with Fox 6 back in November 2020 after prosecutors said a key witness in the trial of this man, Darnell Kimball, failed to show up.
He literally and my daughter, and he's walking free as me and you, and she's no longer with us.
31-year-old Chiron Miller was in the arm and abdomen inside an apartment near 52nd and Locust in 2019. Miller died hours later.
She was just an outgoing, loving person, and I'm really going to miss her. She has beautiful children that are really going to miss her.
The medical examiner's office ruled her death a homicide. Prosecutors charged Kimball days later with mother of 4. Investigators say Kimball's mother witnessed her son Miller, but when a witness no-showed at trial, Kimball was released. For years, the case went dormant. During that time, Kimball was convicted of felony gun possession, given a stayed sentence, and put on 2 years probation. On Tuesday, prosecutors filed first-degree reckless homicide and felony gun charges against Kimball. A warrant's out for his arrest.
He ain't gonna show up.
Now, I spoke with Miller's mother, Brinson, this afternoon. She moved away after her daughter's death and is raising her children. She tells me that justice needs to be served, but says justice failed the last time and is worried that history may repeat itself.
Whether it was due to new evidence, renewed witness cooperation, or relentless pressure from the community, we may never know. But what we do know is that the fight for justice for Chiron's death is now back on. But there was one problem. Darnell was now nowhere to be found. Even with the new charges and the arrest warrant that was laid out for him, the authorities were unable to locate him, allowing him to once again slip through the cracks and leave Chiron's death without the justice it deserves. As of today, Darnell Kimball still remains at large. The police are still looking for him and urging the public to provide any leads that could help bring him to justice. But despite their efforts, Darnell continues to evade capture, leaving Chiron's family in a state of constant uncertainty and heartache. Chiron's family is still worried that the proceedings of that case would end up like how it did the first time it was brought to court, a painful, unresolved miscarriage of justice. Right. Chiron's story still hangs in the balance. Her killer remains unpunished. Her children are left without their mother, and her family is left grappling with a wound that refuses to heal.
Right.
The pain of her loss echoes through every corner of their lives, a constant reminder of the justice that has yet to come. Chiron was laid to rest in Milwaukee, surrounded by loved ones who struggled to make sense of the tragedy. To help cover the costs of her funeral, her family created a GoFundMe page where the community came together in support. Nearly $2,500 was raised, offering not just financial relief, but a small comfort in knowing that others cared. Her story reminds us of how easily lives are destroyed when dangerous people are allowed to manipulate, lie, and walk away without consequence. This isn't just a failure of the justice system. It's a brutal reminder of what happens when toxic relationships go unchecked and violent men face no real accountability. Chiron's name may not dominate headlines or spark national outrage, but her story deserves to be told.
That's facts, man. I'm sorry to hear that, man. Prayers out to the family. Hopefully they find dude who's responsible. Hopefully he don't come after me. Any of y'all watching this, so y'all better be careful what y'all say. They say he still ain't been found yet, so that's just crazy to know. Even the mom. It's a sad case, man. Just make sure before y'all date somebody or get real serious with somebody, y'all do a background check. Before y'all procreate with somebody, y'all do some type of mental evaluation to see what type of person. I mean, a lot of the time, it's only so hard that, you know, people can fake who they really are. You know what I'm saying? I think Judge Mathis used to say it'll take you 2 days to figure out, or 2 weeks to figure out who a crackhead is. Like it'll really, some people just gullible and looking past the red flags and delusional. It's a real thing, but pay attention to the red flags, man, and make sure that situations like this don't happen. I feel sorry for anybody who ever lost a loved one in DV or any situation like this, but to know that they had an opportunity for justice and it was just ripped away from them, that's a different type of hurt. That's like you get a Band-Aid that's about to, a wound that's about to heal. They just rip the Band-Aid off of it, but like, yeah, I got it. It's crazy out here in the justice system, man. But make sure if you all enjoyed this reaction video, you smash the like button, comment, and subscribe for your boy. And let's go.